Okay, this video is why I don't spice anything. I don't put spice on any food that I eat. Okay, so what's the reason for that? First of all, back in the old days when I was married, my ex-wife or my mother-in-law, when they cooked, they'd often throw cloves of garlic in the food or put some cilantro on it, and I liked the taste of it. It tasted good. I would always eat it. Um, and they used the leaves of the cilantro or the actual clove of the garlic, the real physical macroscopic thing. On my own, I'm too lazy to do that. Uh, I don't ever eat any powder foods, and I never will eat any powder food. Powder foods are almost always contaminated with bad things. They're very routinely contaminated with heavy metals. Here's an article from Consumer Report. Your herbs and spices might contain arsenic, cadmium, and lead. Those are all heavy metals. They tested 126 products from a lot of grocery stores, including major brands, and they found that around a third of them had heavy metal toxicity high enough for health concern. And I've read other books like Food Forensics, and I've looked at other places like Lead Safe Mama, TamaraRubin.com, and it's very routine to find heavy metals. They found lots of heavy metals in the protein powders that a lot of young guys eat for weightlifting. So I would just never do it. If you're going to take any type of spice, I would buy, if you can buy the physical product, like let's say it comes from some type of plant, then I would grind the plant up yourself. Because the more processing the company does, the more there's going to be a problem with spoilage, potential need for preservatives, or they just throw heavy metals in there to make it heavier so they can sell it for more money. So I would not eat any of these things. A lot of teas are contaminated by fluoride. They're contaminated by heavy metals like aluminum. I wouldn't eat any of these teas. I think teas are for chumps. They're also often contaminated by microplastics. Anything with that AP, then the next couple of letters E, E, and L on there, that can be contaminated with a whole bunch of things. I read the chem data sheets on it. I would never eat anything with that on it. Most commonly avocados, but it can be on a bunch of other stuff too. So basically, I think all these spices are overrated. In a perfect world, you grow it in your backyard and you know it's safe. You grind it up yourself. But in the real world, you're buying it in a store. You don't know what you're getting. So this was a pretty good book. Mike Adams, Health Ranger, Food Forensics, talked about lots of foods contaminated by heavy metals. Here's Lead Safe Mama. You can find it by just typing Lead Safe Mama into your browser, or her actual name for her site is called, her name's Tamara Rubin, TamaraRubin.com. She's a lady who had lead poisoning in her kids. When they painted in her house, told her she didn't have to leave, and she got pissed off, and then she began testing everything. Here is, and she looked like she's kind of poor, which made me believe her. If she was rich, then she'd be sponsored by somebody. I wouldn't believe her, but she seemed kind of poor, so I believe her. Okay, mitochondrial oxidative stress is a general reason for apoptosis. She made a whole documentary, Lead Safe Mama. There's a whole big documentary about what happened to her, and it was interesting. Okay, and here's just a paper showing almost all of these common heavy metals. They're all mitochondrial toxins. This includes silver, thallium, mercury, cadmium, lead, aluminum, gallium, indium, arsenic, alimony, or antimony, alimony, Freudian slip there for a divorced guy, chromium, and uranium. All right, they're all mitochondrial inhibitors, okay? So that's not good. This chocolate, there's some BS artist telling you chocolate's good for you. Yeah, right. It's pretty routinely contaminated by heavy metals. Same thing with cocoa. Give me a break for all this crap. Okay, and then your sweat glands, luckily, when you sweat, you extrude a lot of these heavy metals, including cadmium, lead, mercury. Okay? So your little sweat glands are like little kidneys. Like a sewer. Your sweat pore is a sewer to get all this stuff out of your body. So it's good to sweat. So anyways, that's why I'll never eat any spiced or powdered food. And I used to remember the old powdered milks had lots of problems with them, and glutamate, MSG problems. So anyways, yeah, no powders.